people have a lot of opinions about evil, about what it is, why it's there, and what's the source of it. And I've seen it over the many years because we hear it within our community. I hear it from residents of mental hospitals. I've heard it from residents of jails. I've heard it from residents of drug rehab programs. And it's not uncommon for people to say that when they've done something evil, it's because the devil made me do it. And they'll have many names for the devil, and we see him in Scripture as well. Satan, Mephistopheles, demons, um, bad ghosts. All of these are indications of what we consider to be evil. And I myself believe that evil simply comes from not outside of me, but me. And that it's my human mind. Because Jesus has said in the footladder of Notes Divine, in part of the commissionings, if you're ever going to go read the footladder of Notes Divine on our website, Christian Laity Foundation, he states in the commissionings for this book that the human mind has a savage nature. The human mind has a savage nature. And it is the savage nature that produces evil. Well, I don't particularly care whether or not it comes from Satan or an angel that fell from heaven or an angel that fell down the cellar steps. I don't care about these kinds of matters, because the issue in healing is how do we overcome it? Whether it comes from our own human mind or we attribute it to external sources, the issue becomes how do we heal it? And healing is the same no matter where the feelings come from or the thoughts come from about what evil is doing and who is behind it. The healing of it, you need to ask yourself, have you given it to God to ask for God's help for an act which is going to be dangerous to yourself or to others, to do something evil, something that's hurtful? Do you see that the healing for it is to be able to go to God and say to God, take me over. Let me see this from you. Let me act as you want me to act. Let me resolve this from feeling you and how you look at this and how you would handle it. That's what the healing is. Whether or not you see it as outside of yourself or inside yourself, that's why it's not important to me. The important thing is that only God knows how to handle this. Why do I say it? Because, again, the human mind is incapable of healing itself. It just is not possible. And so it's God's business to be able to overcome evil. Does it happen? Yes. Do you say to yourself, well, why didn't God stop the evil from happening? Because God's perspective is different about what is real and what is not. God's perspective is that this world is not real. It's an imagination. It's a fantasy. And do I know it's so? The answer is yes. Because God showed me when he took me out of this world that there was another world in which I was from, and of the blessed state of that mind I had, that divine mind in that divine world, which was different from this one. And I saw that this world did not exist. I was unaware of it in that divine world. It wasn't there. The state of evil was not there. Evil, the state of fear of something going to hurt you, or the evil act that you're going to hurt somebody else, only exists in this world, doesn't exist in the other. And when I'm back in this world, when I'm back here, I'm still aware of that divine world. But when I'm in the divine world, I'm not aware of this one. So which world, therefore, is imagined? It's this one. Because I can still remember the realness of the divine world while I'm in this world, but I don't remember this world when I'm in the divine one, that it is an entirely different existence. And so God's perspective enables him or her to permit this kind of experience of evil because we have chosen to be able to experience this as part of our own lostness in this world. We have left God's world. We are experimenting with another world. We are experimenting in a world from which we're not, but where we are. And God has to permit this because we wanted to experiment with it. But it doesn't touch. The evil that is done here does not touch the true being of who we are. Even if it, quote, kills, unquote, us. The evil and the pain that causes while we're in this imagined world is certainly felt as real. It nonetheless is not real in terms of having a result on ourselves from the other world, the divine world. It doesn't do anything to us. And so when we awaken from this world of the commission of evils, of this lost world, of the belief that we're bodies, that we're not spirits. And I remind you of Jesus' statement, life is in the spirit, the body is nothing. When we emerge with the desire to leave this kind of world and enable God to awaken us to the other world, we find out that nothing touched us there. Nothing. We were experimenting with an identity that had no reality. It was a dream. This world is a dream. And so in this dream world, God permits us to do what we have to do because we want to. But he knows that no real harm has occurred to our real world spirit being, which we are going to regain and recover once we are willing to let go of this world and see the negative aspects, that this is not an experience which is life. It is an experience of a fantasy of life. That's the perspective on evil. So when we see evil being done, we need to be able to be available to that person who simply does not know who they are, and give ourselves to God to help with that person, because that's what all healing comes down to give away love once you recognize that you yourself are love, God is love, and so is that other person who is just, quote, mentally ill, which is really the story of the whole human dimension. If you're in this world, and you're not here just to serve God for having come into it, we have entered into a mentally ill, imagined dimension which has no reality. We are out of our divine mind, which to me is mental illness, and we are into a mind that doesn't exist in reality, which again, believing it's real, is a, quote, sickness, as they refer to it in this world. But there is a healing for it, thank heavens, because God knows how to heal every single one of us and to reawaken us when we finally have hit bottom and we can't stand this anymore. Is this helpful to you? I hope so. Our website is available to you, where more of this can be seen and talked about, and you can read God's healing abilities in the Footladder of Notes Divine, which is on our website, ChristianLaityFoundation.org. Look at God's attitudes towards us and his love, and the reminders to us of how far out we are from the awareness of what is real. Only love is real, fear is not. Bye-bye.